I want to ask, so I'll go down the dais here to get a nod or a response. So, do you agree, if confirmed, to appear before this committee, designated members of this committee, and other appropriate committees of this appropriate committees of this Congress to provide information subject to appropriate and necessary security protections with respect to your responsibilities? Mr. Graves?
Yes, I do.
Mr. Haygood?
We're going to get this right. Yes, I do, Senator.
Thank you. Mr. Haygood, go ahead.
Yes, I do, Senator.
Mr. Jones?
Yes, I do, Senator.
Mr. Graham?
Yes, I do, Senator.
Okay. Do you agree to ensure the testimony, briefings, documents, and electronic and other forms of communication of information are provided to this committee, its staff, and other appropriate committees in a timely manner? Just go down.
Yes, I do, Senator.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, Senator.
Thank you. Finally, do you know of any matters which may or may not have been disclosed that may place you in a conflict of interest if you are confirmed?
I do not, Senator.
Thank you.
I do not, Chairman.
Thank you.
No, Chairman.
I do not.
All right, thank you very much. So I'm going to ask a question here, and I'm going to, number one, I think all of your opening statements were really, really good, and I thank the families and friends and others who are here in support of you, because I know filling out the forms and being able to meet all the standards is no picnic here, and so you've had a long trek to get here, and we appreciate, and I know the support that others offer you is very valuable, so thank you for that. So the Tennessee Valley Power's demand, I mentioned this in my opening statement, is projected to grow in the coming years. TVA's draft integrated resource plan anticipates 26 gigawatts of new baseload energy generation capacity is needed over the next decade to ensure system reliability. So two questions. What do you see as the primary challenges to TVA providing affordable, reliable energy, and how would you work to address those challenges? And I'll start with Mr. Graves.
Thank you for the question, Senator. And you're right, the grid growth needs to happen, especially with AI and other things being added to the system. I think the integrated resource plan is a critical tool to understanding what that demand is going to look like and what the portfolio should look like to be able to deliver that power. When I was at MLG&W, we did our integrated resource plan as well. So the affordability, that's the core mission of TVA, is to provide affordable, reliable electricity. So that's got to be at the core of how we look at that. I do think nuclear power is going to have to play an extremely important part, and that's a costly venture to go into. And so there are things we will have to look at as a board of how we fund that going forward.
Right. Thank you. Mr. Haygood?
Excuse me. Senator, thank you for that question. I agree in large part with my colleague. Our best hope is nuclear. I'm bullish. The new SMR technology that's been around for a while, it gives me opportunity for hope. It is clean, and I'm hopeful about that. The IRP that my colleague just mentioned is a critical thing that we're going to have to tackle as a board if confirmed. Right. That is a very, very critical thing.
Thank you. Mr. Jones?
Yes, and if confirmed, I will commit to continue to look into carbon-free future technology and to also increase the hydropower and the nuclear, which on the nuclear end of it, we need a sense of urgency.
Yeah. All right, Mr. Graham?
Thank you, Chairman.
Mr. Graham, did you have a comment on what the problems might be to how are we going to get to this exponential gigawatts that we need to at the TVA? You've probably dealt with this in Florida. I mean, what are the stumbling blocks? What are the so if you have a comment on that.
Thank you, Chairman. I think number one is to make sure that the numbers that people are talking about are legitimate. I mean, is this a pipe dream or is this actually going to come true? I believe it is, but
you mean on the gigawatt side?
Yes.
Or do we really need all this?
Okay. I think that needs to be verified and make sure that we dotted our I's and crossed our T's. I think the biggest opportunity, as some of my colleagues down here have said, is going to be nuclear. I mean, especially the SMRs. And I think that's one of the things I'm mostly excited about being in the TVA, because I think we have the opportunity to to make that happen and try to make it happen as quick as we can. And I think once we've done that, then we can use that as the template for everything else. I mean, I think I've seen what happened in Georgia with Vogel and how long that took. I mean, it went $16 billion over budget, and
Right.
it took an extra 6 years, and nobody wants to be the next one going down that path. And so
Right.
I think SMRs is going to be the solution to that, and I think TVA is in a position to be on top of that and have that sense of urgency to move forward with it.
Well, thank you. So I'm going to start with you this time. So on economic development, I'm particularly interested in this aspect of it, being an Appalachian myself, not served by the TVA, but very similar, very similar regions and pockets of our states that still haven't developed. And so how do you see TVA being able to continue that mission, but maybe change the mission, change the way the mission's delivered, maybe for those remaining areas of the TVA authorities area that have yet to be touched and being able to be a beneficiary of the economic development opportunities?
Thank you, Senator, for that question. I think personally, the Valley, the TVA Valley, is primed for growth, is primed for opportunity. I've come from manufacturing. I've had several years working in paper mills, several years working around power boilers. I think main thing you're going to need land, you're going to need access to water. I think TVA, the Valley area, has an abundance of that.
Yeah.
And I think you could bring in opportunities that maybe can't fit other places, that won't fit in New York City, that won't fit, some places, in Miami, that sort of thing. And I think it's just a matter of making sure you chase after the right industries that fit in those locations.
Right. Thank you.
I can tell you, being in Jacksonville, we're a very pro-military town, and we have a lot of blue-collar people that put in their 20 years, and they're looking for something to do afterwards. And we used to argue all the time, do we chase after Google or Microsoft, or do we chase after some of these manufacturing outfits? Because we have the workforce there that can come in, go to work every single day, and do the job. And they've already proved it by serving our country for 20 years.
Thank you. Do you mind if I go down? Are you? Okay, Mr. Jones?
And thank you for that question, because it's near and dear to my heart, living in Gunnersville, Alabama, being in a rural area, knowing what it takes to run a power line out to a mobile home that's a quarter of a mile off the main road, and making sure that they have sustainable, affordable power, and those folks are taken care of. And at the same time, partnering with the local power companies and everything from weatherization to solar programs on rooftops. Working with that way right there and the partnering, I think, with the local power companies is very important as far as the economy and economic growth.
Right. Thank you. Mr. Haygood? I think you need the microphone. Is the microphone on?
Excuse me. Thank you for that question, and thank you for reminding me again. I need to be better at that. Senator, when I heard you ask that question, I couldn't help but think about broadband. Broadband was not, of course, in the TVA Act of 1933. And TVA is not in the broadband business, but TVA ought to do everything that they can to help local telecoms and the local power providers make that happen, particularly in the rural areas, which I grew up in a rural area, and that's very near and dear to my heart.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. Mr. Graves?
Thank you, Senator. The TVA Act was for rural communities and to serve them not just with electricity, but bring economic development to those areas. We see that happening today in the Tennessee Valley. A great example is the Blue Oval, the Ford plant in Brownsville, Tennessee, which is a rural community and that has brought jobs and economic development. So I don't think it's changing the mission. I think it's refocusing back on our original mission.
Right. Thank you. Mr. Whitehouse?